And I was actually just working on this little sample Nålbinding piece with the York stitch. The thread actually kind of started to, or the yarn kind of came apart on me. So I thought this would be a good chance to record how to join the threads, because like when they would have weaved them, like with the spinning drop method, they wouldn't have made like one long continuous like strand of yarn. So they would have had to join smaller pieces together in a process called felting. So you kind of untwist the fibers as best as you can and separate like both ends into these two like forked tongues. And then you want to kind of scissor those two together as best as you can. And then start to twist. Start to get the fibers lining up with each other. So it's starting to look pretty good. And then have my water here. You kind of dip your fingers and get the thread a little bit wet. And once you've got a little bit of that going, typically like when I've been adding more pieces of yarn together, I've had a bit more of a distance from the loop I'm working on, so this is a little bit tighter. But then you want to just kind of roll piece between your hands and get a little bit more water. All right, and now when I pull, I don't want to pull too hard, but I'm putting a little bit of tension on there, as you can see, and that's pretty much now a connected piece of yarn that I can work with. So yeah, and just to keep going, pretty easy to pick back up where you were. So I have the stitch that I'm working on wrapped up on my thumb, my leading thread, my single needle, and so you go into one new stitch, the stitch that you just created, the last one, and back through the one before, and under all of that, I'm going to pull off and kind of tighten the stitch that I was just working on onto the needle. Pull the needle through. I'm working on this like with a pretty tight tension, so sometimes it does take a little bit of a yank to get it through. But then you kind of just keep pulling and pulling. And there's the new stitch back on my thumb. So then I can just kind of keep going from there, and this thread that I felted together will be incorporated into the rest of the thing. And then once I run out of this one, I just repeat that process over and over again with the same kind of yarn, or different if I want to. So yeah.